Hey y'all, what's up? It's Jigs. Welcome to In These Wi-Fi Streets. And let me just say, I know this is a touchy subject, but we have got to talk to our kids about S3X, sexuality, and this whole conversation that everybody is having a fight about and trying to avoid. Now, I live in New York. And New York, is very progressive. My youngest is 10. I walked up in her school and there was a rainbow flag. Now, mind you, I'm pro LGBTQ plus community. I'm watching the straight community and the gay community fight about this conversation. Mind you, everybody, and I'm sorry, my kids had a half a day. They in the room. If you hear them, I'm sorry, they loud as hell. Both groups are concerned about the children, and in both sides of the spectrum, everybody's right, and in my opinion, everybody's wrong. And I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you a real quick little story. My mom has a cousin who was 15 years old. This was back in the 70s. And he told my mom's family that he was gay. My grand aunt and her other children, which is his siblings, beat the ish out of him and left him a bloody mess. Literally dragged him out the house and put him in the hallway. He was missing for 4 days. According to the rest of my family, because she didn't care. My grand aunt didn't care. He turned out to be, a gay boy, so there's a problem. You feel me? Well, 4 days later, my mom and my uncle wound up finding him, and they brought him to my other grand aunt's house, which caused a big rift in the family. My mom, to this day, doesn't speak to her cousins. This was, of course, back in the 70s where, you think you can't have the conversation now. Imagine back then it was a hell of a lot more worse. That's just one of a multitude of things that happens to you when you are a member of the LGBTQ plus community. Whether you're gay, male or female, or a trans man or a trans woman, the streets are not a friend to them, okay? The thing that I think, and this is, I'm a, how they say cis woman, I'm a born woman, that's the new term, cis. Right, I'm a born woman, always been a woman, a heterosexual. Again, I don't have a problem with the LGBTQ plus community. I'm hearing them, though. You feel me? I'm hearing them, and I'm hearing people say their parents kicked them out into the streets, 14, 15 years old. Here comes along a PIMP, took them. They've been RAPE'd. They've been trafficked. They've been all types of shit, okay? And that's the ones that either run away because they're scared to tell their parents, or their parents kicked them out, which I find funny. Like, your 14-year-old, the day before you found out they were gay or trans, was not old enough to go outside past a certain time. But because they are gay or they are trans, you threw them out and expect them to survive. Okay? Now, the ones that don't, that just boggles my mind. But let me move along, right? There are 14, 15-year-olds all across the country that are committing S3Xuality, okay? They're taking their own lives. They are afraid to tell their parents. Or, like I said, they get kicked out of their homes. So I understand members of the LGBTQ plus community saying we need to speak to our children. We need to see where they're at, and we also need to raise them up to be tolerant towards others. And I hate using the word tolerant because I feel like tolerate. Like, that's like saying I'm tolerate you because you're Puerto Rican. What the fuck you mean? You gonna tolerate, motherfucker? I'm here, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. Tolerate me, but you know what I mean. Just be more respectful of kids. If you see that what you know to have been born a boy, being more girly, feminine, obviously that young man is most likely a young lady or gay, and do not pick on that child. Do not come after that child. Do not disrespect that little boy or little girl, what have you. On the flipping side, I think the thing that's going on is that amongst the straight community is like, listen, if as it is as you say, where you know when you're a child, then what's the point of talking now? Which I believe in a sense that is true, right? Because when I'm an 80s baby, right? You either had a crush on Zach or you had a crush on Kelly. You had a crush on Hillary or you had a crush on Will, whether you was a boy or a girl. My thing is, can you act out on it? Because I was a heterosexual little girl having a crush on, I'm so sorry, I live by a hospital, y'all. Sorry about that. I was 9 years old having a crush on Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was raised by my grandmother. If my grandmother would have found out that I had a crush on a grown-ass man, that would have been my ass. She would have spazzed out on me. Mira, fresca, es un hombre fresh. That's a grown-ass man, and I agree. What does it matter what my 10-year-old sexuality is? She can't act out on it anyway. I will. Let me not say nothing that get me in trouble, but I'm a little bit old school. Okay, I don't give a damn if it's a little boy or a little girl. Somebody gonna have to call the police. Okay, I have a problem because you're 10. I don't care who you like. You can't date until you're 16 anyway. And you can't do what adults do any fucking way. Okay, period. So your sexuality doesn't really mean that much to me, but I understand what members of the LGBTQ plus community are saying, where if your child is, they're afraid to tell you. So you need to speak to them. Also, kids picking on other kids, you feel me? You need to speak to your kids about their behavior and how their treatment of other people. So I understand that. But I think members of the straight community are like, you're trying to sexify our kids. Like, no. You know, and even to gay men and gay women, you know, trans men and trans women, like, it doesn't matter what my child's sexuality is. She's 10. She can't do shit with it anyway. Now, mind you, I did speak to my daughters, and we had a conversation about their sexuality as well as their gender. And surprisingly, my kids are 10 and 12. My youngest, my oldest is 21, or about to be 21. I keep aging me and her. I keep saying I'm 40. I don't know why I'm aging myself. I'm 39. I still got, what, 10 more weeks to go? My birthday's in January, okay? I already see my age is turning me off, is blowing minds. Okay, I'm over here aging myself. My daughter's birthday is a month after my oldest, so she's 20. I don't have to talk to her about nothing. We already had multiple conversations about all types of shit, because I do believe in speaking to your kids. My grandma was born in 1928. This woman didn't even speak to me about my monthly. Okay, she didn't tell me that once a month I was going to bleed. I found out at 10 years old, and I freaked out because I didn't know that happened to us. Okay, so I promised myself I'm always going to have a conversation. Not to mention that everything that I learned in the streets. Now, if you live in a nice neighborhood, God bless you, but I'm from the South Bronx, okay? 80s, baby. I didn't learn nothing nice. Okay, and I learned it from my pupils. What does a fucking 14-year-old know more than you? You're getting your point of reference of conversation by somebody your age with your mindset. You feel me? So you gotta be the one to talk to your kids about everything. And then listen, I'll be on social media and I'll be reading comments that make me think, you know, some adults, okay, we're talking early 30s, early 40s, mid, whatever, I don't care. You are an adult. And based on comments, and it's not really comments. Comment is a comment, a post is a post. But when I see 17,000 likes, I'll be like, oh my God, there are 17,000 people who need to schedule themselves a doctor's appointment, need to get tested for STDs, because whoever spoke to them about sex failed them. I see conversations about who can get it and how you can get it, and I'm like, you need to speak to a doctor. You need to get the body fluids, interchanging of body fluids. It doesn't matter whether you're male, female, gay, straight, trans. It does not matter. The exchange of body fluids. I'm shocked that adults don't know this. So please make sure you talk to your kids about everything that you don't want to talk to them about, because they're going to find out in life anyway. But in pertinence to this conversation, Number one, you need to see where your kids are at. Like, my kids already knew. Every time as I was talking to them, they was like, Mommy, I know. Mommy, I know. Do you know what a trans person is? Yeah. You know what this is? Yeah. You know what that? Like, okay. They told me about binary. I didn't know what binary was. I knew what androgynous meant, but I didn't know binary. Like, they teaching me. Do you want to know where your kids are at as far as their gender, their sexuality, and what they know? You need to bite that. BULLET. They censoring the shit out of every platform. So I don't know what I can and can't say. So if you hear me spell something out, I'm not altogether too sure whether I could say it. And I curse a lot. My apologies. I gotta work on that. But if you want to see where they're at and you really don't want to have that conversation, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to have to put your big boy, your big girl panties on and go talk to your 10-year-old, whether you fucking like it or not, because they're going to learn whether you like it. You got to see where they're at, because whether you like it or not. And some kids, they get scared to tell us what they do know. So if you open the door to that conversation, first off, it makes them more comfortable to talk to you. Secondly, then you can see where they're at. Now, number 3, please. One of the reasons why this is such a big conversation is because of all the people JUMPing them, BE18 them, all kinds of messy stuff, right? Give me a second. Can you close the door? I'm doing a video. Can you give me like 5 more minutes? Thank you. Could you close the door all the way? Thank you. Okay, so they're being, bullied and harmed and stuff like that. So please do not raise your kids to be this little jerk off. Okay, we got enough of them, okay? We got all types of racism, bias, colorism. We got all types of shit, and it goes back to parenting, okay? So please raise your kids to be more tolerant of other people, but that's another thing. You got to see where your kids are and how they're treating people. But also, mainly, if your child is struggling with something you don't know, and you don't know the outcome of that. You don't know who they're talking to. You don't know how they feel inside. You don't know if they're having thoughts of taking their own life just because they feel like they can't talk to you. So you need to talk to your kids about sex, sexuality, and gender. I know it's an uncomfortable conversation, but the reason why the LGBTQ plus community is so adamant is because of the suffrage that they go through. When you kick these kids out or they run away, they are at the mercy of the world. I always tell my kids, you I trust. It's people on the outside that I don't trust, and that's why y'all can't go outside late night. That's why I don't like y'all staying in certain places. You I trust. It's the adults around you that's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? When you kick that kid out or that kid runs away, they're at the mercy of predators, okay? They're getting harmed. They're getting BEAT-eaten. They're getting RAPE. There's all types of shit. So they're trying to let parents around the world know, or at least here in the United States, that their treatment and what they're going through can be avoided via us having these conversations with our kids. And if you are a member of the LGBTQ plus community, please try to understand sexuality and gender, S3X. You feel me? It's not easy. We don't want to have these conversations with these kids. We really don't. Okay. Also, for the more people that get all dramatic, you gotta understand sexuality, S3X. Like I said, it don't matter whether my 10-year-old is gay or straight. She can't do shit about it anyway. She can't date until she's 16. So you gotta see the point of perspective. Like, nobody has to be a jerk off or an asshole in this conversation. There's too many people attacking each other, too much name calling, which is another thing. All these kids are understanding that this conversation is going on, and we're supposed to be their guidance, right? Yeah, they're watching us attack each other, insult each other. Like, how the fuck we supposed to guide them and we can't get our shit together? This conversation doesn't have to result in name calling, fighting, and bickering. If everybody's concerned about the kids, then everybody should come to a table and have a real dialogue, a real conversation, so everybody can see where we at. But that's just my opinion, and I can't tell nobody what to do. I'm just saying, as a parent, if you want to know where your child is at, how your child treats other people, how they're feeling, you need to be the one to have this conversation. It's gonna happen anyway. Also, you need to see where your child is at, because if there's something that they want to tell you, you know, they're living in fear of you hating them, of you kicking them out. You need to speak to your kids. So, you know, again, I know this is a touchy subject, but this is something that's been weighing on me for a very long time. And I feel like we're all handling it, as adults, we're all handling this shit all the wrong way. And nobody's really hearing each other. Everybody's listening to debate, to have something to say, rather than listen to learn and to take in. You know, members of the LGBTQ plus community are saying they RAPE us in these streets. They harm us. They are PIMPs who will take your 15-year-old and do God knows what to them. And that's because people either hate their own children for coming out, or the kids run away. And that's the ones that are still alive. A lot of them are taking their own lives because they would rather take their life than face what you say. Can you imagine that shit as a mother or a father, that your kid goes and takes their life because they're so afraid of what you're gonna say? Like, they're trying, members of the LGBTQ plus community are trying to tell the rest of us, this is what happens. And y'all can avoid this. And we don't have to go through this. And your kids don't got to go through this. And I hear that. I'm always of the hope that members of the LGBTQ plus community also understand that this is not an easy conversation. You're talking to an adult. I want you to go to a 5-year-old and see that 5-year-old play and see what that 5-year-old mentality, and picture yourself having an adult conversation with them. But anyway, that's just something that was weighing on me, and I wanted to share it with y'all. So yeah, I'll see y'all on another video. If this resonated with you, definitely hit the like. If you want to leave a comment, please be respectful. You know, I'm the type of person, I respect everybody. You feel me? Gay, straight, bi, black, white, Latino, Asian, I don't care. I respect, you know, I'm Christian. I respect Jews, Muslims. I respect people who do Santeria. I respect the cultists. Like, I respect people who believe in the Orishas. You know, I'm a well-rounded person. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not into insulting race, religion. I'm not into insulting sexuality. So please be mindful and respectful if you do leave a comment. But like I said, if you resonated, please do hit the like button. And please do hit subscribe. I'm going to come back with more stuff. Yeah, when I get a laptop, it's gonna be way better. I'm gonna have pictures and all that stuff when I speak about celebrities. But for now, it's just gonna be me in your face. All right, bye guys.